I'm Eric Law. I went to the University of Denver and I played professional lacrosse for the Denver Outlaws. This is the UA Command 2.0. I really like the new design of the thinner scoop at the top to help with ground balls, and the same thing in the back with the flare to help with ground balls as well. The pocket, it forms just a nice, easy pocket right in the middle. I also love how light it is. We've been in the sun all day. It still doesn't get that soupy, bendy feeling. Also, what I really like the new addition of is the side rail pockets for the shooters, which doesn't go right in there, which I think is a brilliant design.
And welcome to the Regional Athletic Complex in Salt Lake City, Utah for the MCLA semifinals. This one the first of 4 coming at you today. Chris Marshall joined by Ryan Powell. And tell you what, we are expecting a good game between these two teams. Obviously conference foes, they are intimately familiar with the other squad. Usually they see each other twice, sometimes even 3 times. And this will be the a number of matchups to watch here. The teams here have met in the championship game twice since 2012. So again, teams that are used to the big stage and ready to go out there and play. Now, Ryan, I know you've been out here all week watching these teams play. Is there anything you'd like to see either of these teams do?
Well, I think that you know, when you're talking about MCLA championship week and you're looking to make it to the championship game, there's a couple things that you need to focus on as a ball club. That's receive great goaltending play out of your goaltenders. That's going to be super important both ways. And then it really comes down to the little things. It's picking up ground balls. It's clearing the ball at a high percentage. And those things are going to help your team be successful, get past this tough task, and make it to the championship game.
Obviously, and if St. Thomas is able to get the victory in the game today, they will be on their way to their 3rd consecutive championship appearance. So certainly some pride on the line for the Tommies coming into this game at 14-1. The only loss on the season coming against Minnesota Duluth, who we will be seeing this afternoon in the 2nd game here at the D2 semifinals. One of the common opponents, obviously, from these two teams. Duluth fell at the hands of Grand Valley earlier this season, and they also handed their only loss to St. Thomas. So transitive property doesn't always work that way. These two also have a head-to-head where St. Thomas got the better of Grand Valley. But this time of year, all the records are out the door.
Absolutely, all the records are out the door, and you know, based on the records and the season that these clubs have had, and you know, looking down the stat lines and the win-losses, and anybody can beat anybody. And these are really good MCLA Division II teams, and like you said, Chris, we're expecting a good game today.
And you look at these teams and you talk about experience and being there before. I mean, clearly something that helps Syracuse down the stretch, having guys who have been there before. Not so different from these two teams, combining for 11 trips to the championship game and 6 titles, 5 of them going St. Thomas's way. As we get ready here for the opening draw, one player to watch on the St. Thomas side, Eric Dice. He is an excellent player. He will not leave the field for the Tommies. Primary face-off man, as well as a very competent offensive midfielder coming into today with 17 points.
That's something that you don't see very often anymore, as a face-off specialist that stays on and plays offense. So that's pretty unique in the sport nowadays, and it'll be interesting to watch his performance today.
Yeah, back to the old school guys, full-time midfielders, Kyle Harrison, Doug Shanahan come to mind, but certainly something you'd like to see more of. And there's Tice bullying the ball out, and that one picked up going Grand Valley's way as Videcki has it. And tough pass back there. Let's see if St. Thomas is able to pull it out. Goosed out and picked up by Venable, who's then pushed out of bounds. Heads up play by the defense. Both teams getting their personnel on as Grand Valley moves it up. Isaac over there looks like going to get an offsides call. Is Grand Valley able to move the ball up? They may have gotten away with one there. Should we get our first look at either of the team's offenses? Grand Valley in the black, St. Thomas in the gray. Again, make sure to send us any comments, questions, anything you got to us on Twitter at CMarshallLSN. Love to hear from you, where you're watching from, what you think of the broadcast, and any questions you might have for us.
Grand Valley State playing with some house money right now. There's a flag down on the field. They're going to maintain possession and get the call no matter what. So they're just trying to produce a high-quality shot here in the early going.
There's a great poke check as that one pops out. We get the whistle, and we'll hear what the call is. Andrew Broman on the defense there. Looks like St. Thomas playing pretty far out on defense, some high pressure.
Yeah, they really are. They're stretched out, and that's playing with some serious confidence when you go that stretched out and that set on the defensive end. You got a lot of belief in those long pole sticks that they got down there on the D end.
And that's a 30-second penalty for an offsides. See Grand Valley's extra man unit go to work.
When you're talking about extra man, you're looking for a quick ball movement, but you also want the other 5 guys to make sure they're moving their feet really quick as well.
And there's a shot. 10 seconds left on the penalty, and that one picked up by St. Thomas.
5, 4, 3.
It's Noah Anderson able to corral that one. So they're now back to full strength. And Tice also on the man down. He does it all. Probably wants that one back as it's going to make its way to the sideline. Ball going back to Grand Valley. Still yet to see St. Thomas on the offensive side in the first 2 minutes and 17 seconds of this one. And again, Broman, tough matchup. Crawford, the leading scorer for Grand Valley, sends it up. 28 points coming into today.
Here we go, Gray!
Hyde looking for help. It's to Crawford. A little bit of an invert. Quick double. And again, Ty's still out there. Now has the matchup. Looks like they might exploit it. Look up top. There's a shot from outside. Defender soaks that one. Going to go out of bounds. Looks like it's going to stay Grand Valley, but great hustle effort by St. Thomas there on the sideline.
That really was great effort. That's what you got to have here in championship week in order to get your team to move on. It comes down to all the little things. So 22 there for St. Thomas. Yeah.
Mark
Dowdle. Mark Dowdle. Good energy out there.
Well, it is win or go home this time of year. Can't afford to leave anything out there. Good tough defense again by St. Thomas. It's Cole Hyde. Looks for some moves inside. Almost a great handle. That one picked up and heading back the other way. And for Dowdle, calling his name a lot recently. There's a pass through and a quick, easy goal. That one coming from Alex Vijams, and he's excited as St. Thomas gets on the board. Didn't take long once they got the ball onto the offensive side there for St. Thomas to draw first blood.
Yeah, absolutely. This was all number 22, Mark Dowdle. got the ball in the defensive end and a nice ground ball, took it the distance, had a little traffic in front that he had to weave through, did a great job clearing the ball. He drew the slide, he dumped it over to number 6, Vijums, the junior attackman who stuck it to the back of the net. Nice goal by St. Thomas, they're on the board.
Yeah, a number of tweets coming in already. Michael Brand watching from San Antonio. He was here for the first couple of games as well. And the Grand Valley men's lacrosse handle helping out. And usually a pretty active member of the Twitter community. There's a win for Grand Valley. See what the call is here. It's called going against. Grand Valley gives St. Thomas the ball. A first look at the settled offense for St. Thomas.
Let's go, Gray! That's you, baby. Let's go.
So the first possession here for St. Thomas, you know, a true 6-on-6 situation. They want to swing the ball. They're going to keep it hot, let it touch all 6 guys' stick, get guys feeling comfortable out there. Big game, big moment.
Appears to be the second line midfield for the Tommies already. One of the larger rosters still here. And there's a great look, 5-hole as Venable gets on the board. That makes it 2-zip Tommies. And that one looked pretty easy out there.
Absolutely, you know, the Grand Valley sent that slide to stop the ball carrier, and a second slide never came out of the middle. So a great dodge by the midfielder. Grand Valley sent that slide upfield just a little bit. Number 1, Venable comes around. Great catch and bury between the wickets of the Grand Valley State goaltender.
Yeah, and getting some fundamental shooting out there. Shot it overhand, changed the plane, beat the goalie, scored the goal.
You make it sound very easy.
I wish it was that easy.
Overhand.
You're out there making it look easy. I just get to talk about it. Nice goose playing another ground ball. As Perry tries to get into the box. Nice look over the top. Sam Fuller now gets it back. Look out. Bundy opts to pull it out as the Tommies get their personnel out there.
A lot of emotion in this game, Chris. These boys are out here, a lot of fire coming out of both the benches. St. Thomas is riding the momentum wave right now.
Yeah, Grand Valley could use a big play here. And just like that, Echek steps up, stones the shot. I think we're going to see a push here. Ball stays with the Tommies. Bundy's going to bring it in. Staunchfield, who has it now, has been the real initiator in this group. Both Venable and Vijums dynamic with the ball in their stick. Started looking before it had his stick. Now coming the other way, Grand Valley's got numbers. That's Cade Butch. Swings it around. And the Tommies letting him hear it. So Butch was looking for a call on a slash.
Rankin's got him caught. Little cat and mouse game. Grand Valley's got to have all 5 guys moving up in front of the cage in that situation.
That one looked like it might have been high, and it looks like the officials agree. That one's still out. It's a chance for a free possession here. Crawford gets it. Been pretty impressed with the individual on-ball defense by St. Thomas so far.
Absolutely, I think they've been playing really good. Rankin hasn't got much room yet. He's the quarterback, plays behind the cage for Grand Valley. They've been swarming to him every time he gets the ball.
As Crawford turns the corner, scores the goal after a second flag comes out. Let's see if any of these will stay. As Grand Valley cuts the lead to 1 and gets their first goal of the game.
Rankin unassisted. Time to go 7:22 the first quarter.
Pretty good individual effort here. Good understanding of the game of lacrosse on the offensive end out of Blake Rankin. Freshman. Not too big of a kid, but he comes around and plays bigger than he is. Drops that left-hand shoulder, gets the top side on him, puts a nice shot, high to low. Much needed goal by Grand Valley. Keep this energy going, see if they can go on a run of their own.
And let's see what the official has to say here. So,
Great, 2-4, cross check, 1 minute.
St. Thomas penalty, number 24, Riley Bumgarner.
so it looks like the goal is good. 1 penalty will stay. That one for the cross check. That one came high near the beginning of the during the beginning of the possession there, but the push that they got as well went on to be waved off. So, opportunity for a extra man possession if they can win the draw. Tice comes up with a huge play. Cookies, there goes the ball. Can't play without your stick. And that's a great defensive play. See if they can come up with it. Again, good effort on the defensive side. Sam Fuller mucking things up. And that's a good handle. Sam Hoover. And throws that one away. Good man ball by Grand Valley.
30.
It appears Grand Valley having a little trouble with the intensity on the defensive side. About 10 seconds left. Crawford settling into the offense here.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, release.
And back to even.
St. Thomas at full strength.
Great 2-man to get the shorty to Crawford. Borman, no trouble with that one.
No trouble at all. I mean, you got to work to get a better shot right there. Zach Crawford, work for a better shot. Too far out, not enough pop on the shot. Bouncer, this grass surface, just scoop that ball up with the speed as well. So very easy save.
It's always interesting to see some of these players. A lot of them used to playing on turf fields, which become a lot more prevalent over the last decade. Sometimes kids have trouble with the natural surfaces.
Yeah, it's really hard to get a nice high bouncer on this grass surface. Got to shoot that ball extremely hard and try to get it down to the bottom corners. If anything, it's a little short hop into the back of the cage. But, those high bouncers on this surface are certainly not a high percentage shot.
I'm going to get a penalty here. This will be slash on number 47. That's Videcki, as he's going to take a timeout here for about a minute. This will be our first look at the Tommies extra man. Their 6-on-6 has been pretty solid. You have to think that it's going to translate to their extra man.
Yeah, I've seen some really good man-up units here on MCLA Championship Week. It's all about moving the ball, keeping it hot. Very few cradles, very little cradling, I should say. Get that ball moving from one guy's stick to the next.
And there's the low to high just off the mark coming from Bundy.
43.
He's got 40 seconds or so left on this penalty. And there's a look inside. That one knocked down. St. Thomas able to come up with it.
Let's move. move the ball. 20. Chase.
There's a decent look coming around the end from Vijams, but unable to get that one on the frame. About 15 seconds left on this penalty.
10. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release.
And back to full strength, and that one looks like it's going to make its way out of bounds, just barely, but solid defensive stand for Grand Valley.
One thing that I've seen too much this week is just the unforced turnovers. I think guys got to do a much better job of protecting the ball, taking pride in passing and catching the ball. These coaches and the coaching staff have spent a ton of time on stick work drills throughout the course of the year. And now you're here on the big stage. You got to do a much better job cleaning up that unforced turnover. An unforced turnover is not much pressure on the ball. They're just getting the ball around the outside in a 6-on-6 set and sailing a pass over his head. I mean, right there you got St. Thomas. It's got a little bit left in the man-up advantage, and they're throwing a bad pass. That's a really big turnover in a game like this.
Yeah, and we saw Crawford lose his footing. A couple of guys having some trouble with the grip as the ball came back down to this side of the field for St. Thomas. Ice again, trying to use his size. Quick double. And Echek with another big save. It's been a brick wall here in the second half of the first quarter. Dowdle takes the shot, gets the ball back. Offensive rebound.
St. Thomas definitely been winning the ground ball battle here, especially in their offensive end.
And there's a great finish by Sam Turner. Nice little hitch move to get by his man and able to get that one in that low corner, just like we were talking about with the shot placement.
Yeah, absolutely. That's, you called it out. That's exactly what happened, and a really good move. Nice little hitch. He gives a little dodge like he's going to go hard to his left hand, but keeps it in his right hand, gets topside on his defenseman, and a nice, hard, low shot. Didn't give much time for the goaltender to react to it. He had a nice shot from about 10 yards, and that's a big-time goal here late in the first quarter for St. Thomas.
And that was McCullough, the D-mid for Grand Valley, that lost his man on that one. And that's a great play for Grand Valley to get that ball. Again, Butch again, let's see if he's gonna get the trip. Keeps it in his stick. Now he's got time and space in the middle. Takes the shot, and what a save. That one will make its way to the end line. And we'll get another look here at the extra man for Grand Valley after the trip.
Cade Butch, way to go, my man. Number 40 for Grand Valley State. That's playing with some energy and passion. Get the rest of the boys on your team fired up in a situation like that. He goes by two, gets the trip, keeps the ball on his stick, gets to the middle of the field and creates a great shot.
Yeah, and anytime you've got the opportunity there to have your face-off athlete make a play like that, certainly something that can get your team fired up.
Yeah, 136.
And Cade, the primary face-off guy, coming into today a little over 60% on the season. Lost the ball there. A nice play by St. Thomas.
Oh, that's just so frustrating right there. That's got to be, maddening for that coaching staff. Rankin throwing one down by the ankles of his teammate. They have the man-up opportunity. It's exactly what I've been alluding to. Too many unforced turnovers, especially when you're on the power play advantage. That's the time you got to make it count the most. You got an extra guy out there on the offensive end. So to be throwing a bad pass over a guy's head or down by your teammate's ankles like Rankin did right there, very frustrating as a coach.
There's Bundy working with it.
1 minute remaining in the first quarter. 1 minute.
And the last 58 seconds, that one can't get through the bamboo forest. See who comes up with the ground ball. Pretty fortunate that one goes right back to Echek. And he throws that one a little long. It's going to stay in bounds. See who can come up with it. And there's another good hustle play for Grand Valley. And looks like it's going to stay in as well. Tough ground ball for Crawford. See if they give him the timeout here.
Grand Valley.
Heads up play there, coach. Now 35 seconds to play in the quarter. Grand Valley with an opportunity to hold for the last shot. I mean, what are you seeing from these teams out there that you like and that maybe you don't like?
Well, I think that it's been a little bit on the sloppy side right now. I hate those unforced turnovers when you got the man-up advantage, obviously. And, you know, the clear game has been a little bit sloppy as well. But there's no doubt about it. These teams are giving it all they have, and they're getting after it. So, you know, the energy's there. They just got to have a little bit more focus passing and catching the ball. And, you know, St. Thomas has definitely won the ground ball battle so far. And they've, in turn, produced more high-quality shots than Grand Valley State.
Yeah, and pretty solid play out of both goalies. Echek on the Grand Valley side and Borman on the St. Thomas side as well. As send it down to the sideline reporter who is listening in to the Grand Valley huddle. What do you got for us?
Well, the Grand Valley huddle, they're worried really about the pressure from St. Thomas. They said their offensive players aren't handling it real well. They're running on too many flat arcs. They want them to get in, create contact, and then step away and sprint away from that contact. They're going to come in here out of this timeout and run a little bit of a pair system. And then their big goal here is to either get a goal but not give anything back in transition. That was their big message that they ended with.
Thanks, EJ. And, you know, there you have it. Coach is asking for some classic V-cuts there from their offensive players.
Absolutely. That's great that the coach is talking about that. That's great reporting by EJ, giving us a heads up on that. But it's exactly what we're seeing. There's not enough guys that are moving hard that don't have the lacrosse ball out of Grand Valley. It's getting in one guy's stick. He's doing a lot of the dodging, and then 5 guys are just standing around. So get them into pairs like they talked about, get a little pick game going, and that's going to spark a little bit more movement out of the players, and in turn, hopefully a higher quality shot.
And then trying to force that one through is Rankin, but Grand Valley able to come up with it. Down to the final 10 seconds here. They're going to have to get the shot off, and loses the handle there. Got a moving pick there. Looks like that's just about going to do it for the quarter. And at the end of one, St. Thomas holding on to that 2-goal lead over Grand Valley. And you are watching the MCLA tournament powered by Under Armour from Salt Lake City at the Regional Athletic Complex. I'm Chris Marshall, joined by Ryan Powell. Make sure to stay tuned for 3 more quarters of great lacrosse action.
I'm Greg Gorenlian, known as Greg Beast. I played for the New York Lizards. I just retired from the MLL, and I face off for Team USA. An elite level face-off man looks for a couple different things. The first thing is the pinch points of the head, the flex points, how it wraps around the ball. The second thing you look for is the scoop. Is it rigid enough and can it help you get an extra couple ground balls? The third thing is you want durability. You don't want to have to go buy a new head every few games, so this head basically encompasses all 3 of those. The Face-Off Academy put Commandex's heads and their prototypes through the grinder. They lasted throughout the entire grind. They flexed exactly how we wanted them to. So not only were they pliable, not only were they durable, but they were also used in a lot of different facets. So it came out with a pretty good rating. The UA Commandex. Dive under, take over.
And welcome back to the MCLA Championships powered by Under Armour at the Regional Athletic Complex here in Salt Lake City, Utah. Beautiful day for lacrosse. Chris Marshall joined by Ryan Powell. This a matchup of 2 teams that have seen each other quite a bit over the years. Just got a tweet coming in from Grand Valley's Twitter handle. These teams have played 15 13 times since 2008. Serious rivals coming together here today.
Yeah, it's not very often that you're watching a lacrosse game in the championship week and there's teams that are so familiar to each other. To have played 2 or 3 times in a season, that's quite a bit. There's there's some built up emotion in this one, and there's a lot of people that are familiar with each other. So you got to play with that energy, but you also got to do a few things maybe a little bit different than you had done during the regular season. A couple different offensive sets. Maybe if your defense has always shown one thing, they might want to show a little zone. So putting in a couple things here for the big week, I think is really important.
There's a nice face-off win. There's the move and the shot, and that one just off the mark. But that Joel Iverson taking some of the draws as well. He's been splitting with Dice at the X. St. Thomas looking to attack quickly as they get their personnel on.
That Iverson kid, he's got some serious speed, 17. Explosive out of the midfield. Just missed his mark just a little bit, but that's producing a great shot for his squad.
Yeah, just 2 goals coming into today, but no time like the present to add to the old score sheet. Tice working from up top. St. Thomas moving the ball quickly. Here's the dodge, rolls away.
Nice look.
What a finish, top shelf. That one coming from Dowdle. And tell you what, he has been a real spark for the Tommies.
21-22 right here. Great look. I give the credit to Sam Turner. Laser-like vision. Finding Dowdle on the backside, and then Dowdle, he's got a cannon. Goes high to high, beats the netminder, turn and rake Grand Valley State. Big goal by 22 Dowdle.
Yeah, and that one piped down. Certainly an exciting finish. Beat him off stick high. But early goal for the Tommies as they've been controlling the momentum in this one so far. It's going to be kicking the cross going against St. Thomas in that one. As we've seen 3 different looks at the face-off X for St. Thomas today. That one picked up.
Chris, just passing and catching the ball on the offensive end. Just cannot turn the ball over like that.
It comes right back, and what a move inside. Great trail check, but it still gets to Crawford. And just like that, we saw bad passes going both ways, and that one going to get the flag every time, lifting the lid.
Little chin music.
Go, go, go. Get in.
Looks like Crawford may have stepped out of bounds there on the end line, but no harm there as they'll go into their extra man unit. And quite a few penalties going against St. Thomas. You have to think Coach Gross would like to see them clean it up a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. But, they're kind of playing a style that's very aggressive right now. Everything that they're doing on the defensive end is making Grand Valley's offense very uncomfortable. That's why they're not focusing on those passes, because they're worried about that defenseman pressing out and getting right on their glove. So they got to start handling the pressure a little bit better. And they've turned the ball over in the man-up opportunity. They can't do that. They got to pass and catch this ball. They got to produce a high-quality shot right here.
And it was Hoover, the culprit there on the penalty, as he'll be taking a short break. And that shot just off the mark, coming from Rankin. And you see those, see the players come up when they're taking the shot and get big. I mean, brave soul to step in front of a shot. Not sure that's in my future ever again.
Here we go, Gray! Yeah, I got it!
Grand Valley doing a good job moving the ball around. Like that one's going to stay inbounds. No pressure for Crawford as he picks the ball up.
He's got some nice vision, Crawford does, from behind the cage. He's a good guy to have back there. This man upset.
And back to full strength.
St. Thomas at full strength.
And there's a great look inside. Nice back cut And that's the first one of the day for Sam
Grand Valley
Highland, the sophomore.
by number 88, Sam Highland. Assisted by number 20, Zach Crawford. Highland from Crawford.
Yeah, Crawford, junior from Howell, Michigan. Got great vision. You can see it on display out here today, and he really sets this goal up for Highland. So, you know, a much needed goal right there, just at the end of the man-up advantage. St. Thomas had the penalty release, but that 6th guy wasn't yet in. Little helter-skelter in front of the cage. Rankin, great vision. Highland, great catch and bury.
And like you said, not quite back to full strength until you set that defense. Still some unsettled opportunities. And Tice comes up with the ground ball once again.
That last goal there, Chris, for Grand Valley State was Hayden, correct? Was it Hayden?
Highland, Sam Highland. Double 8s.
Oh, there he is. Okay, yes. I said Highland, and then I wasn't seeing Highland on my sheet here. Now we got that right. I just wanted to make sure we were giving credit where credit was due by my man number 88, Sam Highland. Nice goal.
That's the over and back going against St. Thomas. Tough call there. Great Valley looking to get their offense back out there. Cole Hyde coming in through the box. That one tipped. It's going to stay with Grand Valley. Again, high pressure defense. There's a shot backed up. But again, Crawford from behind.
You know, it is a high-pressure defense, but Grand Valley is kind of playing into their hands right now. There's not enough movement. There's not those hard V-cuts like EJ was talking about, you know, Grand Valley and the coaching staff talking about that in the huddle. And they have not really come out and responded to more movement on the offensive end. You've got to break in hard and break out and start playing with a little bit more energy on the offensive end. Not just worry about the ball carrier doing something with it. They got to get the other 5 guys moving on the offensive end.
Yeah, it's a great play by Fuller to get that ball onto the offensive side. Both these teams get their personnel on. It's Bauman from up top. Seeing a little more pressure from Grand Valley here in the second quarter. Nice handle. Cuts inside. That one just off the mark, but a possession shot as that one will stay with St. Thomas. Stanchfield on the shot.
Stanfield's got some nice wrist to him. Man, that thing had some serious heat on it. And he did not bring the stick back very far. He brought that stick out. It was only just by his body. Be able to produce that kind of heat on that shot. That's all wrist action.
Yeah, and Stansfield been the primary dodger on that second line of midfielders for the Tommies. It's like Highland started thinking about what he was going to do with it before he caught it. Too much on that one. Again, you see the coach over there, palms up, wondering what's going on.
Yeah, there's been a lot of that. You know, you got to have more respect for the ball, and you work so hard at the defensive end to get a stop, or your goalie putting his body in front of a rocket ship shot, trying to get a save for your team, and then we're clearing the ball and throwing the ball over on the clear game, or getting in your 6-on-6 set and throwing the ball away. So been a little bit sloppy here in the first half, both ways, and a lot of missed opportunities because of it.
Yeah, and Echek, a couple of passes on a rope right into the cross, and both times the offensive player unable to bring it in. and the officials letting him play. Way to dig that one out for St. Thomas. It was Leasing. And there's the flag down. Let's get a free position here for free possession rather, for St. Thomas. Beejam's working up.
In the box, St. Thomas.
Still down, just gonna up with it. And again, St. Thomas winning the ground ball battle as Bundy comes away with that one. Gam looking for some space. There's Taufin showing his wheels. Solid body work there for St. Thomas. You see Coach Gross cycling through his offense, getting the 2s and 3s some real work here. Depth will definitely be important, playing this many games in such a short time. And that one just off the mark, off the top of the stick there for Leasing. So getting it over and back, but St. Thomas will keep the ball, so there'll be a penalty going against Grand Valley. Second penalty of the day going against the Lakers. St. Thomas holding on to the 2-goal lead, just over 7 minutes to play in the half. See what the call is. It's going to be a slash. That one going against Perry.
Justin Perry, 1 minute for slashing.
Justin Perry wearing 38 today. Normally during the season wearing 28.
What are you doing, you think? You forget his jersey back in St. Thomas?
It's entirely possible. Sometimes the jerseys walk off as well. So you got one number in the black, maybe a different one in the gray and the white.
619.
I remember my freshman year playing, the kid that washed the uniforms had his car stolen. And so then we only had one set of uniforms for the rest of the season.
Oh boy. You just never know how it's going to shake out.
Sometimes you catch tough breaks. And there's great ball movement. And once again, Echek with the stop, but that one right over his shoulder and into the back of the net. Unlucky for the goaltender from Grand Valley.
The number 5, Ben Taufin.
What a nice extra man unit right there in goal for St. Thomas. They really move that ball tic-tac-toe. You know that you're going to produce a good shot on man up when you're not cradling the ball and holding on to it for more than a second. You want to catch that ball and move it as quickly as you can. The ball moves faster than you do. And in a 6-on-5 situation, that's how you beat that defense. Also, that quick ball movement opens up some skip lanes as well. So St. Thomas, hats off to you there on perfectly executed man-up play.
Yeah, and exactly what you said. Maybe 2 cradles on those 4 passes coming across the middle.
What a nice ground ball that was right there.
Yeah, Sam Fuller.
Fuller put the Hoover vacuum cleaner on high right there, and that thing, he must be a hockey kid as well. Unbelievable hands down towards the ground, picking that thing up, giving his offense an opportunity here.
And hold on to that 3-goal lead, 6 minutes. Again, the momentum firmly in the Tommy's corner. Back to the first line offense. Tice wanted the call there. Not so different. The fans are upset about it.
JF Harris 3-3-3 at home. He's getting all fired up, rooting the boys in.
And there's the shot, that one off the top corner. That one can't get any closer, but the rebound, not giving up on the play, and Sam Turner, he's fired up as all the boys come together.
Sam Turner's really playing a great game right now for St. Thomas. He's been all over the field, doing a great job picking up ground balls, aggressive, in the 6-on-6 situations, and he just caught a nice break right there. Picked up the Lucy off the crossbar, goes back into him. Grand Valley's defense was a little out of sorts. Turner got over the top and stuck one.
Tough play for Grand Valley, able to have a shot, not find the back of the net, and then immediately give up the rebound goal. But sometimes that's the way the old cookie crumbles. The lead is now 4, largest of the day for St. Thomas. There's the clamp one by St. Thomas. See if they come up with a ground ball. That one kicked out. Looks like it's going to be Grand Valley ball. Got numbers coming forward. And there's the shot and the finish as Grand Valley answers immediately. Dalton Reich scoring the goal.
Grand Valley goes by number 10.
Good answer there. After a nice goal by Turner from St. Thomas, Reich answers the other way. Got topside on his defenseman and came around and stuck a nice one to the low part of the cage.
And I mean, what's your opinion on that one? Obviously, you're struggling in the 6-on-6. You just given up a couple of goals. Haven't played a ton of offense, but you like them going to the cage immediately.
I mean, I think that you got to try to find something to go with here. So you know, if they can start going a little bit more in transition, you know, I think that it'd be a good change-up. They're not getting any production right now in the 6-on-6 situation. So if you got that little transition opportunity, you got to take it.
There's a big save by Echek on the shot coming from Bundy. As the ball comes out, Grand Valley ball. Some tough ground balls here in the last minute or so for Grand Valley.
What a nice save by Echek. I talked about it in the beginning of the game. In order to have a nice upset victory for Grand Valley State, Echek needs to play a very good game, and that was a big-time save by the young kid. I say young kid, that's, I mean like much younger than me.
I get you.
Here we go, here we go.
Rankin with it, nice two-man game. They've been doing a good job of getting the matchups they want. Haven't been able to exploit them yet. Flag down. And the ball pops out.
I did not see where that flag came from.
Let's see what the official call is. And looks like it's going to be a cross check as the official comes in for the call. Yeah, got to keep your hands together. But that one looked pretty clean from where we're standing.
The penalty, 3:57.
But another one going against the Tommies. Grand Valley, despite numerous opportunities, have not made the most of their extra man unit tries. Grand Valley with an opportunity to cut the lead down to 2. As there's a shot from outside, that one misses the mark, but backed up by Crawford. Saw St. Thomas on the other side have success in their EMO.
See if Crawford, number 20, behind the cage, can get some of that vision working right here. Swing it to the kid and let him see what's going on and see if he can find a little skip lane to find one of these other 5 shooters up in front of the cage. Here it is to Crawford.
Highland was the guy last time on their extra man. That one knocked down. Again, good pressure defense. Ball still out.
4, 3, 2, 1, release.
And that one picked up by Nick Perry.
St.
He
Thomas
sends
with
it across.
strike.
Here comes Venable. It's a great job coming up to the box to create an opportunity for his team. It's going to be a timeout for the Tommies.
St. Thomas calls
They've got the
timeout.
ball after a penalty kill. Love seeing the tweets coming in as well, using the hashtag. You can see them up there top left as Roll Toms, the most recent one. Have to think that's related to the Tommies. But certainly a more lively second quarter of action here between these two teams.
Yeah, starting to get a little bit more composure out there on the field. First quarter was filled with some bad unforced turnovers, which you can't have in the big games playing on this stage. And I think both teams have started to settle in now, and you're starting to see more competitive game and more evenly matched a little bit too. I feel like Grand Valley's starting to find their flow just a little bit more on the offensive end. They look a little bit more comfortable as St. Thomas defense is trying to stop that from happening. They've been playing extremely aggressive in all situations. But for me right now, I watch Grand Valley. They don't have a lot of speed on the offense. You know, they're 6 guys, and I think that you know, St. Thomas and their coaching staff must have seen a little something there, and the familiarity that we talked about, these guys playing quite often against each other in the regular season. So that's you know, another thing that defense can do is step out in those situations like they're doing, and without a speedy guy, it makes it a lot easier for St. Thomas and their defense to do that.
And sideline reporter E.J. Freeman was listening in to the Tommies huddle. What do you got for us?
Well, the coaches for St. Thomas are ready for Grand Valley to come out in either a zone or a man. I think they expect the zone, and if they come out in zone, they want to go with a rotation with a throwback, and then if they come out in man, they want to attack the shorties just as they do in the last few possessions.
And then you talk about the familiarity. It appears that Grand Valley is in that zone look. I mean, coaches have a pretty good idea of what they're going to do.
Yeah, great reports there. Listening in to the coaches' huddle both ways. Got an update from EJ in the first quarter, and then that one from the St. Thomas bench. And these coaches are dialed in. And you're right, Chris. Familiarity plays a big part of it. So knowing exactly what the other team's going to do and having a play set up for it, that's good coaching coming out of a timeout.
It was Venable with a great defensive play to get the ball back for the Tommies after the giveaway. Bauman up top, gets to Vijans. You hear the calls coming from the sideline, looking for that crease pass. So again, you hear the coaches calling out what plays are coming. Venable working from behind. It's about as much pressure as we've seen from Grand Valley so far today on the defensive side. There's the shot from outside. No problem for Echek as he eats that one up. And the final 70 or so seconds here. You know, Grand Valley would love to get a momentum goal here in the final minute of the half.
1 minute remaining in the second quarter. 1 minute.
Got a
Grand
Valley timeout here. 52 seconds to play in the half. You like this timeout call?
Absolutely. I think that, you know, as a head coach, one of your biggest responsibilities is knowing when to use your timeouts. This is a great timeout. At this stage of the game, they had a long pull out there on the offensive end after the clear. Getting that guy off the field, getting the right guys on the field takes quite a bit of time. So good timeout. Now you get your top 6 offensive players out there and draw up a play, you know. If I'm coaching this team, even if we get that shot clock slapped on us, I don't want the ball going back down to the St. Thomas end for the rest of this half. So right out of the opening whistle here in their possession, you know, you want to swing that ball, keep it hot, but keep it in your end. Make sure there's no transition and that ball doesn't even go to the other end.
Yeah, and Crawford been the guy so far finding the cutters for this Lakers squad. Got EJ down there on the sideline listening in. What do you got for us, Coach?
Guys, listening to the Grand Valley huddle, they want to hold the ball till about 10 seconds left here. And the coach gave them 2 options here. They either want to go with a 2 invert, both shorties behind, or set a razor pick for one of their shorties that they have behind. So they got a couple options here, but they want to wait till 10 seconds left in the quarter.
Well, what do you think?
I think that's right on. That's what I would be looking to do too. You know, I think the 10-second mark, maybe 15-second mark is a good time to attack the cage. And you know, I love the 2-man game. I'm a big fan of like the big little matchups behind the cage. For those watching at home that might not know what I mean by the big little matchup, it's you know, an attackman behind the cage that's being guarded by a long pole, and then a midfielder, get him back there to work that 2-man game that's being guarded by a short stick. So that puts a lot of pressure on the defense, and I would love to see that nice 2-man big little game behind the cage with about 10 to 15 seconds left on the clock.
Certainly, you know, something that I know you've had a lot of experience doing, the old speed lacrosse games in the backyard over the years.
Absolutely. You know, the pick and roll game is really effective. It puts a lot of pressure on the defense. You know, they got to communicate. They don't know whether to slide. Here goes Crawford. Got 13 seconds to go in the quarter.
Nice trail check there. Ball still down, and that's going to do it for the half, but solid defensive stand there for St. Thomas at the end of the half. And that's the way the first half is going to finish up. 6-3 in favor of St. Thomas over Grand Valley State. But a much more competitive second quarter. Don't go anywhere. Got a whole nother half plus 3 more games of great lacrosse action coming your way. You're watching the MCLA National Tournament powered by Under Armour. We'll be right back.
Chapman in South Carolina at 7:50.
Founded in 2009, Lacrosse Talk Radio has the most live and up-to-date coverage of the fastest sport on 2 feet. Whether you're listening to one of our over 200 live youth, high school, collegiate, or professional game broadcasts, or our regional specialty shows, Lacrosse Talk Radio gives you access and insight to your favorite teams and players. Visit us at lacrossetalkradio.com for our broadcast schedules in the Rocky Mountain, Tri-State, and Mid-Atlantic regions. Lacrosse Talk Radio, the official voice of the MCLA.
Life is about moments. If you fight, I fight. If I fight, we fight.
You be there and watch what I do when the bell rings.
Do you have that real look in your eye that when you look at yourself in the mirror, you can ask yourself this question: did I give everything I got? Did I lay it all on the line? Or am I cheating myself?
What you say, Quaid? See ya!
Right at it. Oh! He's done it again!
So whatever you're gonna do, claim it. Leave your mark on this world.
name is Pat Young. I started my college career at University of Maryland, Baltimore County and finished up at University of Maryland, College Park. I currently play for the Ohio Machine. The shaft is the Meso, and obviously when you look at it, it's got a really sleek look to it. Black on black is pretty smooth. Feel it, it's not too rigid, got a little bit of a grit to it. It's very durable, but it's pretty light. It's got a little bit of a flex to it, so it puts a little bit more on your shot. UA Meso Composite, balanced, battle tested. My name is Pat Young. I started my college career at University of Maryland, Baltimore County and finished up at University of Maryland, College Park. I currently play for the Ohio Machine. This is the Under Armour Banshee. It's the mid-level lacrosse cleat. What I like about it is it's got a low cleat feel, but with the protection of a mid to high cleat. I'm usually a guy who likes to protect my ankles, but I don't like to lose the mobility and feel like I'm wearing a heavy cleat. UA Banshee, untouchable, unstoppable.
I'm Eric Law. I went to the University of Denver and I played professional lacrosse for the Denver Outlaws. This is the UA Command 2.0. I really like the new design of the thinner scoop at the top to help with ground balls, and the same thing in the back with the flare to help with ground balls as well. The pocket, it forms just a nice, easy pocket right in the middle. I also love how light it is. We've been in the sun all day. It still doesn't get that soupy, bendy feeling. Also, what I really like the new addition of is the side rail pockets for the shooters. It doesn't go right in there, which I think is a brilliant design.
I'm Greg Gurenlian, known as Greg Beast. I played for the New York Lizards. I just retired from the MLL, and I face off for Team USA. An elite level face-off man looks for a couple different things. The first thing is the pinch points of the head, the flex points, how it wraps around the ball. The second thing you look for is the scoop. Is it rigid enough and can it help you get an extra couple ground balls? The third thing is you want durability. You don't want to have to go buy a new head every few games, so this head basically encompasses all three of those. The Face-Off Academy put Command X's heads and their prototypes through the grinder. They lasted throughout the entire grind. They flexed exactly how we wanted them to. So not only were they pliable, not only were they durable, but they were also used in a lot of different facets. So it came out with a pretty good rating. The UA Command X. Dive under, take over.
Founded in 2009, Lacrosse Talk Radio has the most live and up-to-date coverage of the fastest sport on 2 feet. Whether you're listening to one of our over 200 live youth, high school, collegiate, or professional game broadcasts, or our regional specialty shows, Lacrosse Talk Radio gives you access and insight to your favorite teams and players. Visit us at lacrossetalkradio.com for our broadcast schedules in the Rocky Mountain, Tri-State, and Mid-Atlantic regions. Lacrosse Talk Radio, the official voice of the MCLA.
Life is about moments.
If you fight, I fight. If I fight, we fight.
You be there and watch what I do when the bell rings. Do you have that real look in your eye that when you look at yourself in the mirror, you can ask yourself this question: did I give everything I got? Did I lay it all on the line? Or am I cheating myself?
What you say, Quaid? See ya! Right at it. Oh! He's done it again!
So whatever you're gonna do, claim it. Leave your mark on this world.
And welcome back to the MCLA Championships, powered by Under Armour at the beautiful Regional Athletic Complex in Salt Lake City. Chris Marshall, Ryan Powell with you for this one. Great first half of action, 6-3 in favor of the Tommies. 9 total goals, 8 goal scorers. Both these teams spreading it around.
Yeah, they're spreading it around for sure, getting a lot of good production out of some different guys here. And the big moment, that's what it takes. Got to be a team game, and a lot of guys stepping up and elevating their game. St. Thomas has looked really strong at moments. They've had a couple turnovers in the clearing game, and I'm sure the coaches would like to see that cleaned up a little bit. And Grand Valley State is, you know, they've been up and down right now. They got to put together a solid 30 minutes of lacrosse if they're expecting to come back and dethrone St. Thomas here today. So in a 3-goal hole, and we talked about the possessions, how important they all are, and they got to do a much better job protecting the ball. And I'd like to see both teams play a little bit faster with the ball, and that doesn't mean you know, being out of control and forcing the ball to the middle of the field. It just means dodging a little bit quicker and putting more pressure on the defense, rolling back, throwing good passes, and keeping the ball hot. So I'd like to see the speed of the game pick up a little bit here when we're talking about the ball being in the offensive end for both clubs.
Yeah, any of the players out there that have impressed you so far with their play on the field? Yeah,
you know, I think that there's been a handful of guys. We talked about both teams kind of spreading the ball around, but you know, Turner's been really good for St. Thomas, number 21. Dowdle, 22. We've talked about him a handful of times. He's been great in between the lines and also on the offensive end. And then, you know, I think that for Grand Valley State, they got to get a little bit more production out of number 22, Blake Rankin. He's one of their top guys on the offensive end. He was a little bit quiet, but Zach Crawford has kind of filled that hole. A lot of stuff is going through him so far today.
Yeah, Crawford, the primary ball carrier, at least behind the cages. We saw a procedure call going against Grand Valley. His face-up guy went early. So St. Thomas got the ball. Now Tice up top.
21 Sam Turner right now. He's on the backside of the offense. He's got a good matchup against a short stick. I'd find some space for him, get him the ball, and let him dodge on that short stick defender. I don't think there's too many shorties that can stick with 21 out here.
Yeah, Turner, the only player in the game with 2 goals. There's Dowdle, cuts through, takes a shot. What a save by Echek. As that one pops out, looks like it's going to stay St. Thomas.
Kick save and a beauty by Echek.
But yeah, Echek been playing great so far today. And we talked about the goalie play. Echek, of course, on the Grand Valley side. Bauman on the other side. Just a freshman getting the looks today. But both goalies playing a very strong game. Once again, see a player lose his footing. No harm, no foul as Vigen picks up the ground ball. Ref's letting him play. Could have been a slash there. Dice with it. Now Bundy. And again a save. That one off the goalie and then the post. But see the flag come down. This one's going to be going against Grand Valley. Right there in the middle of the scrum. Didn't see exactly what it was, but one of the players from St. Thomas looking like he might be holding a shoulder.
Yeah, Vigems, number 6 for St. Thomas. Looks like he's got a little of a stinger on his shoulder bone there.
Grand Valley penalty number 3, Grant Davis.
And that's going to be a slash going against Grant Davis, the freshman LSM out of East Grand Rapids.
Release at 11:58.
St. Thomas has had some really nice man up so far. The unit's really clicking. They've had success when the ball moves extremely quick, like we saw right there.
Ears are burning, Coach. Able to get that one in the back of the net. And once again, Sam Turner, who you just talked about as being a real threat. Tasha Hatz, because that's 3 for him.
Yeah, Grand Valley's got to make it a little bit harder. I mean, this shouldn't happen with just the first time that the ball's going around the outside. To have that slide coming out so late on Turner. He had time and room. Great shot. Started it down low. Brought it up top to the back of the net. 21 Turner. He's having himself a day.
And again, that's 3 for Turner. Pushes the lead to 4, matching the largest of the day for the Tommies. It's been a good matchup at the face-off X. Now we've got Iverson for the Tommies. He's been splitting duty. A couple other guys finding their way out there. And he's going to win it to himself. And he takes the shot, and that one just over the top of the goal. And again, we've talked about the bounces on this surface.
All day! Hey, you're fine! Let's go! All day!
St. Thomas really controlling the tempo right now to start the second half. They're trying to make this a game that they're dictating the pace, and they're certainly doing that right now, just a couple minutes in to the third quarter.
Thomas moving the ball around. Top looks to be the first line midfield here. And there's the shot. And again, Echek, even through the traffic, able to catch that one cleanly. This game could be a lot more lopsided if it weren't for the great play of Echek in the cage.
Absolutely, that one wasn't a good decision on the shot. You know, we just talked about dictating tempo, and you throw a popcorn type shot in there. You know, the goaltender's already warmed up. You got to tell St. Thomas midfielder on that one. So you got to, you know, work to get in tighter to the cage and get off a harder, more high quality shot, put it on the ground or get it up in one of the top corners, but be right in the guy's stick. That made it really easy on Echek. We've seen him make some good saves today, but that one he didn't have to move too much for.
Crawford loses the handle, but able to get it back. Now Colin Hyde working from up top. There's a shot from outside, again from Rankin, but that one eaten up. Now coming back the other direction. Stanchfield has a world of speed as he finds that one in there. And again, off of Echek and into the back of the net. The heartbreaker, Selly, from Venable.
Vanderbilt, nice.
St. Thomas goal scored by number 1, Charlie Venable.
Piece of that shot coming
Venable
in there,
his second goal of the game, time of the goal 10:35 in the third quarter.
Catches low to low, sneaks one past the netminder for a big-time goal for St. Thomas.
Assisted by number 31, Jack Stanchfield.
A little bit. And if you're Grand Valley State, you got to start thinking about getting some stops here, and you got to win some face-offs, and you got to produce some good shots here in the remaining 10:30 of the third period.
And Kate Butch back out there at the X for Grand Valley. Going up against Ben Campbell. Campbell wins it forward to himself. And there's a shot, and there's the finish. Now the sideline fired up. 2 quick goals for St. Thomas.
St. Thomas
as
goal.
the senior face-off.
Number 14, Ben Campbell.
This is as fired up as we've
Campbell
seen
unassisted.
for St.
Time of the goal 10:29 in the third quarter.
Saw Nicholas Culp down there on the St. Thomas sideline. The celebrations were so good over there. That's just a great individual effort by Ben Campbell.
And he's going to be out there again to try his luck. Different look coming from Grand Valley. This one, Malcolm McDonald, the freshman. But always fired up when you get the D-mid or the face-off guy out there for a goal.
Absolutely. That's a momentum goal. Players feed off that. Got those guys that work extremely hard in between the lines but don't get a lot of credit because they're not big goal scorers. Don't score a lot during the course of the year, but the players really appreciate how much time and effort that these guys put into their craft, and when they score a big goal like that, it's huge momentum for the squad.
Yeah, certainly a good time for Campbell to get his first goal of the season. But we're going to get a push going against Grand Valley. It looks like. It looked like St. Thomas may have stepped out of bounds, but it's the little extracurriculars right at the end of the play after it appeared he had stepped out of bounds. It's going to be a 30-second technical going against Grand Valley.
Grand Valley penalty, number 19, Matt Foreman, 30 seconds for pushing. Time of the penalty, 10-10.
Serving this one. St. Thomas made short work of the extra man last time around. Looks like they're shutting off behind the cage. Playing 4 on 5, and not effective either, as that one finds the back of the net. Once again, as Bundy gets his name in the score sheet.
Nicholas Bundy, assisted by number 31.
Want to check out a nice textbook overhand high to low shot. Watch Bundy, man, number 4. Steps right into it, gets his body behind him. Great extension. Man, that's just textbook overhand shot right there. Look at this extension and just brings it with some heat. Gets it, slips it past Echek. Awesome, awesome shot right there by Bundy. Love that form.
And now the lead is 7 for the number 1 seed St. Thomas. Again, this would mark their 3rd consecutive trip, I believe, to the championship game. And their 8th overall. They're able to continue along at this rate. And that's going to be a procedure call as Grand Valley stepped out of the box. It's a great lift. Keep seeing Tice come to the sideline here. Drop off his face-off stick, pick up his offense stick. That's good defense. Nice handle by St. Thomas. Vice with it, finds Bundy. Bundy turns the corner, takes the shot. No room on the near side. It's another save for Echek.
That's a great save by Echek right there. That was a tough shot to stop, and you got a great shooter in Bundy. Another well-placed shot. Echek was able to shut the door. So hats off to him with his performances he's been putting out there so far. This thing could be worse than that 10-3 score that you're seeing right now with the quality of shots that St. Thomas has had.
Certainly, and been pretty much all St. Thomas here in the third quarter. Not a whole lot of opportunities to see the offense for Grand Valley.
Yeah, I don't think that the ball has been down to that end of the field once yet.
And tough break there for St. Thomas. The ground ball comes out. Timmy McCullough.
Numbers.
Sends it down. Nice look for Crawford, and that one right into the stick. Bauman eats that one up. Now coming back the other way, we've got Numbers.
Nice save by Bauman from St. Thomas. That's a textbook fast break situation right there for Grand Valley. Everything was perfectly executed other than Crawford sneaking that one past Bauman.
And we've seen St. Thomas with those looks change the plane of their shot. Crawford sticking high to high with that opportunity. Looks like this one's going to stay for St. Thomas. Venable runs it down. Now Baumgartner holding on to it. See what the look is here. Trying to get some personnel change out there.
It's not the time you want to be substituting right there.
Yeah, fortunate St. Thomas was not able to take advantage of the number situation. Butch had been on the field an awful long time. Must have just been gassed. There's a shot from outside, just off the mark. Nice defense coming through. Venable going to bring it in. St. Thomas just moving the ball around the offense, getting the defense rotating.
Definitely starting to play a lot more patient on this possession in particular, and that has something to do with the 10-3 lead here with 6:30. They're really in no hurry to do anything.
You have yet to see the timer on for either of these teams. And there's a great look once again. Backdoor cut by Feegems as he is all alone. Finishes with the quick stick, pushes the lead to 8 at 11-3. Quarter three have been all Tommies.
Great offense right here. Nice look to the backside.
Second of the game.
If you're Grand Valley State, there's not really that much pressure that's being put on your defense in that situation. You got to keep your head on a swivel and not get beat on the backside of that defense. You got to have all 6 guys engaged in the defensive package, and you know, a couple guys sliding a little bit too early there without a lot of pressure out of the offense to force that slide. So I'd like to see them stay home a little bit more, but you got to do a great job or a much better job of guarding guys on the backside. So an error on the defense for Grand Valley State on that one cost them, and that's a big goal there by St. Thomas.
This is a Grand Valley squad that's been pretty solid on the season defensively, only given up double digits on 5 occasions, 4 of those coming in losses. So certainly not a good omen if you are Grand Canyon, or sorry, rather Grand Valley. That one just behind his man. Cade runs away from it. And we talk about the unforced errors for both of these teams starting to stack up on Grand Valley a little bit. And playing an awful lot of defense this quarter. Maybe the fatigue coming into not having their head on a swivel and staying with their marks.
Yeah, I've talked a lot about that, the possession game, and protecting the ball. And, you know, especially if you're looking to crawl back into this game, becomes that much more important. So you get a great stop on the defensive end, you pick up a really nice ground ball, and then an errant pass coming up the field. And here we are, St. Thomas back on offense. So again, other than the one fast break that Grand Valley State was ever able to muster up, that's the only time that we've seen the ball on the offensive end here 10 minutes into the third quarter for Grand Valley State.
And Echek been just putting balls on a rope. As we see a flag come out. And there's another flag down. It's a offsides coming for, looks like they've got 7 down on the defensive side. I mean, at that point, probably better to play with 7 since you know you already got the flag. And there's Bauman able to get that one, no problem. Not a whole lot of zip on that shot.
No, not a lot of pop on the shot. And what I'm the most disappointed with is in that 6-on-6 situation, this continues to be an issue for Grand Valley State. They got one guy with the ball, and he's making a nice hard dodge, but then you got 5 other guys that are just standing around. So the coach has made a little adjustment there late in the first half and did a little 2-man game from behind the cage. They got to get some more picks going.
We have 2 penalties on the
what
play.
that's going
Both
to do
on
is
St.
make
Thomas.
more of the
Number
guys in their
39,
offensive end
Matt Herscherbach,
move.
1 minute for slashing.
And we're going to see a
Second penalty, number
6-on-4
36,
here.
John Fisher, 30
As 2
seconds for
players,
offsides.
finding their way into the box.
Patent the
36
penalties,
and
4:34.
39 for the slash and the offsides. Again, we saw St. Thomas playing with 7 on the defensive side in that last possession.
You have this 6-on-4 situation. This in the game of lacrosse puts the most pressure on your defense. It's very tough being 2 men down, but if you're Grand Valley State, you got to stay in your man up, not trying to go too quickly here. That's the tendency of an offense, is trying to go too quick because it's only a 6-on-4. Stay with your set, move the ball, and produce a good shot.
Crawford able to snatch that one out of the air on the shot. About 10 seconds left in this first penalty for offsides. Nice look inside. There's the shot and the finish. Just like you said, patience for this Grand Valley squad as we see the goal coming from Blake Rankin. Likes to see his name in the newspaper, and now he gets to.
Nice catch and finish there by 22 Rankin. Puts one past the netminder. Big goal for Grand Valley State, but I'll tell you right now, there's still time left in this game, and I watched Rankin score that goal. Very little excitement on the sidelines. The other 5 guys that were out there on his man-up unit, not much in terms of a celebration or excitement. In order to come back in the game of lacrosse, the first thing that you need to do is have belief that you can do it. And I'd like to see a little bit more energy out of that squad. If they maybe can rally off a couple, they'll get that momentum back on their side. But a little bit flat after that big goal by Rankin. That brings them a little bit closer to that 11-goal mark that St. Thomas currently has on the board. So stay in your system here and keep that excitement level at an all-time high. Your MCLA championship week, and you as a squad have to leave it all on the field. So get that fire back up and see if you can score a couple goals in a row.
There's Matt Foreman coming away with the tough ground ball. And like you said, no short of excitement coming from the St. Thomas sideline, because they've been fired up all game, echoing the calls as well as celebrating the goals and anything out there that's been a good play. A little bit different look from Grand Valley. Marty Mills getting some burn here.
Yeah, let's see if we can get a little bit more movement here out there on the offensive end for Grand Valley. You know, you can see it if you're at home watching this game. The way that the other 5 guys are moving. This possession right here has been a little bit better than it has been. There are some off-ball cuts that are happening, and not everybody's just standing around watching the ball carrier. Let's see right here on this dodge. This is a great example. Are these guys moving behind him?
There's Richie. He's already been on the score sheet once. Comes inside, but runs into a whole wall of St. Thomas defenders as they collapsed on him, and then falls in the crease. And now we've got a number situation coming the other direction. It's Palumbo. Again, the first time we've called his name today. Coach Gross doing a good job of getting some of those players in from the end of the bench. Got the shorty matchup here. They might want to go at it. Tice turns to the corner. Quick pass. Gets it back. Dowdle. It's been dangerous. Looks like they're going to try and shut him off. Dangerous pass. This ball's still out. St. Thomas able to come up with it. Dowdle moves it. Now Tice is their number somewhere. There's a shot. That one just off the mark coming from St. Thomas. That one Trent Gamm.
Here we go. Oh, let's see it, baby. Let's see it. All day, Gray, all day. Notice it, Riggs. Here we go, Rick. Let's see it, 2-6.
Seen some pressure here from Grand Valley. Try to make something happen. Tice drops his man. Keeps the ball.
Not you, Dowdle. Come on, turn it.
And again, appear to be shutting Dowdle off. And Turner, at the very least, out there trying to shut off the
1 minute remaining in the third quarter. 1 minute.
Not a bad idea there by Grand Valley State to try to put more pressure and make it harder for those two to catch the ball.
What a save by Echek, and a good look, but Vijam's unable to find the back of the net. All hustle there from Venable to create that opportunity. 21 open in the middle. He gets it. It's Carroll. Since it's to Crawford, who handles it on the bounce. And this has been a tough matchup all day long with Sam Hoover.
Check time.
Hoover out of Naples, Florida. Probably a little colder in Minnesota than it is where he grew up. That was on the bounce. Bauman's there. See if he's going to be able to come up with it. And he does. But that's going to do it
Your
for
score
the
at the end of the third quarter,
Those,
St. Thomas
Jordan
11,
Levin
Grand Valley
Concord
4.
cleans. Those are slick. Slept on those, missed the release, but no, Kyle Dever got a couple pairs, along with Sean Lindsay. Those are cool. I like them, but that's going to be the end of three quarters. The lead is 11-4 in favor of St. Thomas as we go into the final frame here. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. MCLA Championships. This is the first of four semifinal matchups today. St. Thomas holding on to a 7-goal lead over Grand Valley. Chris Marshall, along with Ryan Powell, EJ Freeman with you. EJ was down there listening in on the huddle on the Grand Valley side of things. What do you got for us, Coach?
The Grand Valley coaches were really preaching ball movement and people movement, moving off ball. Like you guys have been saying all game, they need to get more active off ball and get those slides, worrying about their man as opposed to the slide man. The other change they want to make is on their inverts. When they pull the shorties behind, they don't necessarily need to dodge right from X. They're okay with them pulling from the corners, and expect to see some more initiation from Blake Rankin this quarter. Back to you guys.
And Rankin, a player who's been a little quiet, aside from that goal that he scored a couple of minutes ago. Certainly a guy that has the potential to be a problem on the defensive side for St. Thomas.
Yeah, definitely. He makes a lot of it go for Grand Valley State for sure, and he has had a quiet day today, and that's credit to the St. Thomas defenders. They got some nice pulls, they got good speed, and it's making it really tough on all of the Grand Valley State attackmen at the moment. But EJ, you're right on with what you were just talking about, man. You got to start getting some more movement on the offensive end if you're Grand Valley State and you want to find a way to get back in this thing. Right now, every time it's down on that offensive end, I've continued to say it here today, but it's getting in one guy's stick and the other 5 guys aren't really playing together as a team and moving with quick motion and you know, getting themselves into good passing lanes and things like that. So they got to do a better job of helping out the guy with the ball and setting picks for him. I like the idea of getting that 2-man game that the coaches were talking about during the timeout frame there as well.
Yeah, and Ben Campbell been the player with the hot hand at the face-off X for St. Thomas here in the second half. Seen 3 different options at the center of the field for St. Thomas, but coming off that goal, Campbell been the guy for them largely in the second half, coming in just over 60% on the season. Grand Valley able to get it back on the offensive side. 14 minutes. It's an awful lot of time in lacrosse minutes. There's Crawford holding his man off. He moves it. Ritchie, he's got a goal on the day. Appears to be one of the faster players on the offensive side. Again, that's Fuller getting his stick in the lane. And that's going to be a interference call off ball. Slow to get up. It's Dallas Jaros. He's going to stay on the field, but took a big hit there.
St. Thomas has been getting some really good defensive play by number 10, Sam Hoover. He's been all over the field. Got a bunch of deflections, doing a great job on ground balls, and you know, they got him. He's guarding Grand Valley State Rather's top attackman, one of their top 2 attackmen there. Number 20, Crawford, right now, he's on him. So making it very hard on those 2 attackmen here today, but hats off to Hoover for the game that he's played so far.
Yeah, both Hoover and Fuller have been very active on the defensive side. Of course, we saw some of their play in the middle of the field as well. Great off the turf. And there's Ritchie looking for some room. He's looking inside, and what a save. 2 saves. And then we see the push. It's going to be in the crease, or is he going to get the call? And that one's going to be Tommy's ball. But what a save by Bauman as he makes 2 quick ones point blank.
Yeah, that was awesome, Bauman. Nice job in there, my man. 2 big-time point blank saves. Shuts the door on him. That could have been a little momentum for Grand Valley. Would have given them 2 goals in a row. But championship week, so important to receive great goaltending play, and you saw it on first-hand display right there.
Yeah, and that's a great defensive play. We talked about it on the St. Thomas side, but you make a play like that and then throw a pass like that, it's got to be tough to watch for Coach. St. Thomas is going to be able to maintain possession. It's like they might have numbers here. Let's look inside, wide open. That one again off the pipe. That one looks like it's going to stay in, and it does. Loses his footing. Not the first player we've seen have a little bit of trouble with turf. That one goes out of bounds. Tough break for St. Thomas. This one's going to be Grand Valley ball. Christian Carroll going to pick up it. Sorry, going to stay back there on the defensive side. Winterburn. Etek's been a guy that's shown that he can find the players when they're open. It's like Eights in the middle by himself. as they finally found him. Highland, he has a goal on the day. Gets into the box. He's got the shorty matchup. Waving Crawford off. Looks like he likes his matchup here. Going against Nicholas Perry. Crawford again working on Hoover. This has been a fun one to watch. And there's Highland with his second of the day, and that's a big one. So we see a little bit of celebration coming from the sideline, but Highland able to get that bouncer by Bauman.
Grand Valley goals.
Yeah, a little bit more energy on that one. Goal number 5, Highland. Nice shot. Steps into it, rips it in there. Well placed shot, big goal. Grand Valley State, like you were just mentioning, Chris, a little bit more fire coming out of them. They've gotten 2 in a row now on St. Thomas, and right now it's every single possession, every face-off is super important. They got to continue to get that ball back in their offensive zone.
And looked like a little bit of a screen in front of the goalie, making it tough to see that shot. But Highland able to get it right off the hip of his defender. And letting him play in the middle of the field. It's Butch bringing it up. It's a tough matchup with Fuller. And sideline calling for a hold there. And good man ball. So Richie picks up the ball. There's good effort from Grand Valley, but nowhere to go. It's Cole Hyde, runs into a number of defenders. Ball comes out again. Highland losing his footing. Sometimes tough to go between the artificial surfaces and the natural surfaces.
Yeah, these guys are getting more comfortable. This is their 3rd game that they've been playing on this grass out here this week, and you know, a little different weather though today. It's a little bit cooler, and I think there's some rain coming in for this evening, and might create a little bit more moisture out there on the grass, but there has been a handful of guys losing their footing out there today for sure.
And this one's a call going against St. Thomas. Not sure what the call is. We'll see the official come over here and make the call. It's delay of game. That's a 30-second technical. So another
St.
big
Thomas
opportunity
penalty,
here for
number
Grand
11,
Valley.
Nicholas Perry, 30
play.
seconds for delay of game.
Cut the lead
Time of the penalty,
down to
9:54.
5.
This would be a big one right here if they can get this one. Still gives you enough time to potentially mount an unbelievable comeback. But it's getting to be in that time zone now that everyone's super important.
And that one on the outside of the cage.
10, 5, 4, 3.
See Dowdle showing off his wheels.
That kid's a stud, number 22, Dowdle. Look like a football tailback right there, getting up the field. Great moves, getting by people.
And then puts that one in the back of the net, but we're going to see a timeout call by St. Thomas. But Dowdle
St. Thomas calls timeout.
6'2", 190. He's got a ton of speed as well. Certainly been a matchup problem all day for Grand Valley. And make sure to keep the tweets coming. Love to hear from you guys at home. You can find me at CMarshallLSN. Send the tweets in. Travis Eldridge tuning in. Wanted to know how it's stacking up to go with me instead of Booker and Greg.
Well, I didn't get an opportunity to go with Travis, so I'm a little bit disappointed about that. I would have liked to get a little taste of him from the Lac Sport Network. But I think that things are going pretty good with you so far. It's a little too early to tell, all right? This is game number 1.
So
it's D2. We work our way up for the big D1 matchups a little bit later on this afternoon. But we're seeing a really good game today. And, you know, working with Booker, I couldn't hang with him, man. His movie references. I'm not a guy that watches a whole lot of movies. Watch a lot of lacrosse. And but Booker's, man, he can give you a lot of different lines from a lot of different movies. And he kept looking at me, "Don't you know that's from Hangover?" And I'm like, "No, I don't." That was basically the whole day. So I worked 4 with him, and then working some games with Greg Bice on Wednesday, or Tuesday rather, was a lot of fun. So it's been a great week out here in Salt Lake City. Beautiful weather, beautiful atmosphere. This facility that we got for these players to play on is first class, and mountains surrounding the fields. And this is my first time in Salt Lake City, having a blast here through the weekend, calling the championship games, and it should be a lot of fun. So.
And there you see a quick goal. Is able to fight through the double.
St. Thomas goes number 24, Riley Baumgartner.
But also we had EJ down there
Baumgartner for
listening
St.
in
Thomas,
on
time
the
to go
huddle.
9:07 of the fourth quarter.
Was that what they drew up?
I actually didn't see that goal. I was getting back in position, so I imagine it was. They wanted to use their legs and be athletic, expecting some pressure, rather than just hoping one man would beat the pressure there.
Well, that's exactly what happened, EJ. So, taking a look at that one again, we're seeing the athleticism, the speed, the size of this St. Thomas team really distance themselves from Grand Valley.
Absolutely. EJ, we're going to need you to be better than that down there, buddy, okay? That's why you get paid the big bucks. So let's get in position a little bit quicker and make sure you got your eyes on the prize down there.
I was all set waiting for you to send it to me, and then I had to get back. You were too long-winded, Ryan.
Oh, now it's blaming it on me. Come on.
Solid team effort so far. There's Tice able to win the draw. And again, no match for the speed defensively from Tice as he turns the corner, fights through the double, was able to find his man. And still a ton of time, just under 9 minutes to play. As we see the second unit on its way onto the field. Again, holding the ball up top. Just need to see if we'll see a timer on. So they haven't made any movements towards the cage yet. There's Baumgartner. He is the shorty. Swings it around. It's Bundy. And that one stinging the corner. That's 2 straight for Baumgartner.
St. Thomas
really
goes number 24, Riley Baumgartner.
Baumgartner is really feeling it. That is a world-class shot right there. Guy steps into it. Great form with his body. I mean, just rifles that thing. That's the time and room shot that you work on practices all the time. Just getting into it and unloading on the goaltender, shooting that ball as fast as you possibly can. He finds the back of the net. Another one of those big-time goals. Separates themselves a little bit more from Grand Valley, making it that much more hard on them to mount a comeback here with just over 8 minutes to go in the fourth.
And again, Campbell coming away with the ground ball after winning it to himself, fighting through the triple team, and able to move the ball out. You see the sideline; they're fired up as Campbell comes. Slap hands, kids! Slap hands.
Campbell. Good energy to him. He's doing a little celly right out there on the field after he won that face-off. Grand Valley is just all over the place right now with their defense. They just had 3 guys go to the ball, leaving it really hard on the rest of the defense on the backside, but not a very good pass there by St. Thomas, and Grand Valley's got the ball back.
And there's fights through, gets the flag once again. And we'll see what the call is, but unable to find the back of the net. Another penalty going against St. Thomas, but as we've seen, they've been very effective in the man-down unit. See the officials coming together, figuring out the call, and they got a tweet coming in here from Grand Valley. So Coach, let's see, Coach Murray named his dog Casey after your brother. How about that?
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Penalty number 25.
Yeah.
Patrick Stitzel, 1 minute for slashing. Time of the penalty, 7:26.
I hope he doesn't come back with another tweet and say he named his cat Ryan. All right, because I am not a cat guy.
Not a cat guy.
Not a cat guy.
Maybe like one of the an exotic cat, one of the big ones. And legally have a bobcat technically as a pet. Not common, but technically possible. And about 40 seconds left in this penalty ranking. Moves the ball. We've seen Crawford be the guy initiating on a lot of these. There's Richie takes the shot, and again, didn't look like the scout accounted for Bauman's strength getting low.
And you just got to get more power on that shot. You got to have the time and room. You got to step in, get all your body firing towards that goal, and there just wasn't much heat on that shot.
3, 2, 1, release!
Quite a handle.
St. Thomas at full strike.
For Grand Valley State, I got to tell you, like, one guy that I saw shoot the ball, and I think it was probably the best shot of the day for that team was Nicholas Bundy, number 4. I'm surprised he's not on the man-up unit. Hey, I'm not the coach. I'm not with him all year.
Yeah.
But to me, you know, that kid, I see like what kind of a lefty shot he has over there. I would think that he's got to be able to find his way into that man-up unit.
We see St. Thomas sticking in their offense. We got Sam Turner finds Dowdle up top, who takes the shot, and that's been a spot where they like to shoot from. We saw Dowdle there about 9 yards out, dead center. They've been able to find a soft spot in the defense.
Yeah, those guys have been playing really good. 21, Dowdle.
Yeah, Turner and Dowdle having big days today for the Tommies. And there's the push. Let's see if the goal's going to count. And so no goal in the crease. No push. St. Thomas coaches not a fan of that one. And the official throwing some laundry out for the coaches. Have to think that one's going to be a sideline penalty.
I think it's very safe to say that's what's going to happen. We are quite close to the benches. And I overheard what Coach said. I'm not going to say what Coach said.
Got another one coming in. This is a tweet. You can see it up there. Some of the Tommies lacrosse sidelines. Sellies reminds him of the Terps mosh pits. Certainly, both those teams having a lot of success. Maybe the Sellies are the secret. And there's a look inside. Another big save by Bauman, but you see Grand Valley just can't break through. Going to get another opportunity here. Extra man. But still, tough sledding right now.
Absolutely. I think that St. Thomas had great pressure out there all game long from the defensive end. And it seems like when Grand Valley does, figure that out a little bit, get a step on their defenseman or find a skip lane to pass the ball through, and then it's Bauman that's shutting the door on them. So if it's not their 6 defensive players, Bauman's there to back them up. So as a defensive unit, they're playing very well, peaking at the right time here on championship week.
It's going to be a 30-second
penalty. 30 seconds for bench misconduct.
Going to be serving
30-second penalty. Time of the call for 39.
We're number 1 going to be taking a timeout for his coach.
Yeah, I think you got to have a little bit more composure in that situation. You know, look at the scoreboard. You're up 13-5. You want to keep your cool in that situation and not get one of those flags for your team. I mean, the only way that these guys would ever sneak back into this thing is by multiple man-up opportunities out of Grand Valley.
It's going to be in the crease. Can't come up with that one. It's 2-on-1 here. Just about finished with this penalty. Maybe like 8 there taking a shot.
Oh, yeah.
Winterburn out there.
Winterburn's got to step in and rip it.
Center.
Come on, man. Can't get a better angle or more time and room to shoot than that time. Doesn't spend a lot of time down there in the O-end, though. Sometimes those poles come across. They're not used to being down there. They just want to get the ball in and out of their stick, but he had plenty of time to wind up and bring some heat on that with the big pole.
I think sometimes you get that close and you think someone's going to be right on top of you, but that was not the case there. And to be fair, the offense hasn't been terribly effective, so maybe it's time to send some poles down there.
Oh, yeah!
That's solid defense from Dowdle. One of the things I like about this St. Thomas team, you get a bunch of guys that are going two ways. That was Dowdle on Crawford. You have to think this is the matchup that Grand Valley would like. One of their primary Dodgers calling for the ISO. Richie inside, he's got some space, takes the shot, but again, unable to get much on it. Dice coming forward.
Yeah, 21 Turner and 22 Dowdle really make things go for the St. Thomas team. These guys are excellent two-way midfielders. They put a lot of pressure on Grand Valley's defense here today with their ability to dodge and go by people. Excellent athletes that are very important here for the Tommies.
And there's another flag down. It's Perry who brought it in, drew the penalty. And looks like a little bit of confusion here. St. Thomas playing down a man. Don't need to do that yet. But saw some confusion here in the front of the box. Led to a numbers opportunity.
Here we go, Gray! High side! High side! Here you go!
Nice look across. That one picked off, going the other way. Again, we've seen the defense be very active. That's Palumbo, the one that came up with that one. But another opportunity for the extra man is the officials, you know, definitely getting their money's worth today. A lot of laundry on the field.
A lot of laundry. St. Thomas been going in the box quite a bit. It's the time to play smart. So, you know, as a coach, you don't really love to see that. Got to stay out of the penalty box in this situation. Let that clock run itself down. Keep all of your guys healthy as you move on and go to play for the championship here in the MCLA Division II.
And that's Sam Fuller finding his way to the sideline. And just under 2 minutes to play. A pretty tall order for the Lakers to get back into this one. And again, traffic. As that one pops off a St. Thomas stick. That one just too tall. Dice right there on the sideline. He comes across. No call for the offsides there. Again, down to 90 seconds for the Lakers. About 30 seconds left on this penalty. Hyde moves it to Richie. And then back up top to Christian Carroll. Rankin playing against the shorty.
10.
Still man up for another 10 or so seconds. There's the shot, and that one right into the stick.
1 minute remaining in the fourth quarter. 1 minute.
And the freshman
St. Thomas at full strength.
Lakeville, Minnesota, has certainly been a very strong player for the Tommies today.
Yeah, he's got Crawford's number. Crawford had a similar type shot with his right hand early in the game. I believe it was in the first quarter, coming around right hand. At that time, he had a lefty, and both of the shots that he took in that situation went right into the goaltender's stick. So, again, young players at home watching this game, you get a shot in that situation, you got to change the plane of your shot. If it starts up high, put the ball down low. If you start the ball low with your release, and you bring the ball back up high. So make sure that you're changing the plane on the goal, and you're going to find a lot more success than a high-to-high shot.
And that one finds the back of the net. Little insult to injury as Grand Valley trying to come out, had the goalie out of the cage with 8 seconds left. St. Thomas able to get on the score sheet one more time. And again, you look at the athleticism, you look at the speed once again, and you know, you take that shot from up top about 20 yards out. And Bauman showing off his athleticism as he created that for himself. The old shell celly, popular among the lacrosse kids. And again, face-off win. So they want to try and get one more here as the shot goes off, and that's going to do it after 4 quarters of action. 14-5 in favor of the #1 seed, and they will be advancing to the championship game once again, marking their 8th appearance. They have 5 championships so far, but certainly look like the team to beat so far today.
Yeah, I thought it was a really good game there by St. Thomas. They really controlled the tempo and pace of the game, did a great job on ground balls. They started out a little bit sloppy in the first quarter. They definitely have a couple things to address as a team if they want to win this championship here this week. Got to get better in a couple different areas on the field, but an all-around solid effort by the Tommies. And then hats go off to Grand Valley State. These guys, did a great job. Got a couple nice wins here during the MCLA championships, but they just didn't have what it took here today to take down St. Thomas, and St. Thomas earned the victory and outplayed them pretty much all aspects of the game.
Well, that's going to do it for game 1 of 4. 9-goal victory for St. Thomas over Grand Valley State. I'm Chris Marshall alongside EJ Freeman and Ryan Powell. Stick with us. 3 more great games coming your way this afternoon from Salt Lake City. We'll be right back.
My name is Pat Young. I started my college career at University of Maryland, Baltimore County, and finished up at University of Maryland College Park. I currently play for the Ohio Machine. The shaft is the Meso, and obviously when you look at it, it's got a really sleek look to it. Black on black is pretty smooth. Feel it, it's not too rigid, got a little bit of a grit to it. It's very durable, but it's pretty light. It's got a little bit of a flex to it, so it puts a little bit more on your shot. UA Meso Composite, balanced, battle tested.